Hey everybody, this is Joe from the Northeastern Native Plant Digest, and today I'm going to be giving you a garden tour and show you everything that's going on, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a fantastic week. So I thought I'd start today with this trellis that I put up a couple years ago. I planted some maypops or passion flower on it. This is the second year that this vine has been planted on this trellis. As you can see, this is all new growth from one season, and this is a really fast growing perennial vine. But I wanted to show you why I grow this. Absolutely beautiful tropical looking flowers, tropical looking leaves. This is a beautiful vine that's hardy from zone 5 through 10. It's native to mostly the southern part of the United States, but it is native in a couple of the southernmost counties of Ohio. So it is technically a native, but I just love it because it has these beautiful, fragrant purple flowers, which gives way to these passion fruit. You can see them. They're on here somewhere. I just saw one. They will ripen up into an edible fruit. Let me see if I can swing around here and find one. There's one up there. You can see that. So this will, if you want to grow this for the fruit, these fruits will ripen up around this time of the year, September and October, at least up in my part of the country. It is a host plant in its southern range to about 4 different species of butterflies, including the zebra longwing, which is an absolutely beautiful butterfly, which is pretty much restricted to southernmost parts of Florida. So that's, I'm really happy with the way this is coming. It's a real drought tolerant vine, but it does sucker vigorously. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So this is my my bed that I dug out after I, was getting rid of my little micro prairie there. So I got this all planted in. I still think I'm going to do some mulch and outline it with rock, but I got everything over there that I really wanted to move. And I added a couple things from some other parts of my lawn, including some of that little blue stem. I've got all of my liatris in here, my purple coneflower. I got some common milkweed. The plants that I was really most concerned about was my rattlesnake master, my Euringium yuccifolium. But those have all done really good. They really took well to the transplanting. I think I lost one false indigo. I'm not sure I got enough root. It was not really that established, but we'll see. It might come back. And then another plant I was worried about was my wild senna. This is the host plant for a lot of the clouded sulfur butterflies that you see flying around here in the summer. They're about the same as a cabbage white, about the same size, but they're a yellow color. So I'm really happy with the way this is looking. And next year it's going to really fill in. Got some goldenrod in here as well. I did get my little prairie mowed down, and I got one more section towards the front of my yard I got to take out. Just kind of waiting for the goldenrod to finish blooming up there, and then I reseeded some stuff. It was kind of a bittersweet day, but I guess I'm happy with it. So all of my hydrangeas that I planted, these Annabelles, are doing great. Of course, asters are really kind of what's starting to put on a show now. Got these New England aster hybrids, and I got this Heath aster. Tons of butterflies or tons of bees, bumblebees, and pollinators on this little white aster. I love these. This is a beautiful plant there. And then most of this bed's done for the season. I've cut some stuff back, including the penstemon. Still getting some pollinators on the mountain mint. You can see these pollinating wasps. They're still kind of going crazy on this mountain mint. So I'm going to leave this up. And then coming around to the west side of my house, still got to make some changes here. I wanted to order a couple more of the lead plants. I just haven't been able to get to it yet. I've been really busy these last few weeks. That's why I haven't been posting any videos. I've been working on a lot of projects inside. Yeah, I got some other projects going on. These New England asters, next year I'll cut them back. I mean, they're pretty tall, but they are gorgeous. But they do get tall, especially in the shade. If they're in full sun, they're going to stay a little bit shorter. I cut the ones back in the front part of my house, and they're about half this size. But I love them. There's my lead plant. This is another type of bone set. It's a really popular pollinating plant, and I'm letting some Virginia creeper grow up on my brick. Now, one thing about Virginia creeper is that it will not harm the mason work, the mortar in your bricks. A lot of people think that, but they're kind of confusing it with Boston ivy, some of the non-native ivies that will kind of ruin your mortar, but this will not. That's why it's a safe alternative, and it's actually beautiful. Turns beautiful red in the fall, gets blueberries on it. It's a good food source for birds, and it's also the host plant. I forget right off the bat, it's some type of sphinx moss, if I'm not mistaken. So coming around to the south side of my bed, this is looking a little rough. I'm thinking about moving this. This is my high bush cranberry viburnum. I'm just not really feeling it in this location anymore. I'm thinking about switching it out for another service berry, which I really love the service berries. Coming around the south, everything's pretty much done for the year. That's my St. John's wort. Still got more lupine coming in from seeds. I scattered a lot of the seeds in. My little blue stems back here are going to seed. I let them go to seed because they're good for birds. These are my obedient plants going to seed. I don't mind. Still got a blanket flower in bloom. I love blanket flowers. First time I ever seen them was when I was in Topsail, North Carolina, back around 1990, and I was like, man, I love that little flower. And turned out to be native, so that was great. Some more of my little hydrangeas. These are the mini Mauvette I planted this year. They're doing good. This is another hydrangea that I planted. I forget what it's called. Key lime pie or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it has more of a green kind of flowering mop head on it. I transplanted the Carolina allspice out of here, and I'm putting some Indian grass. So I think this is going to look good. I like that. And still got some blooms on my native honeysuckle. So my native little prairie area right here, all my Joe Pye weeds going to seed. I still got some native, now this is native Salvia. And I think it's a Salvia Azul, something like that. Gets a really beautiful blue flower on it. Hummingbirds love this. That's one thing I meant to say too. When I was showing you the maypop vine up front, hummingbirds absolutely love that. I wasn't really aware of that till this year working from home. I saw a couple hummingbirds really kind of fighting over it. But this gets a really nice blue flower on it. I love Salvia. I'll probably cut it back a little bit this year. Got a little tall, but I didn't want to cut it back too much because it was kind of its first year. So my pond did pretty good this year. I was afraid that one of my lilies didn't make it, and it's kind of a hot pink, and I had all that northern pickerel growing into the center. I got some waders, and the waders let me get right down into the pond, and I thinned all that stuff out. It created more light for my lilies, and my lilies, as a result, did a lot better, and my hot pink ones bloomed, so I got white and hot pink, and I want to get some yellow ones, and maybe even some dwarf yellow ones. And then on the other side of that bank, I need to do some more planting. So I'm going to be cutting this back in another week or so as the leaves come down, cut down all the cattails. Those waders are really going to come in handy, and I'm excited. My turtle head kind of getting crowded out this year, but as you can see, those, I think these are hot lips, the cultivar hot lips. This is a great pollinator plant. Bumblebees love them, and so do the little pollinating bees. They can actually slip right into those cracks and get in there and get that nectar that they're after. So this is a great plant. I love turtlehead. This is a wonderful plant, and this thing blooms for weeks on end. So if you go and find some turtlehead, you're not going to be disappointed. And it's fairly well behaved. It's clumping out here, and I'm going to be able to split it off. But it's not up there bullying anybody else. So the sneeze weed, it's been blooming for a while. It's going to be finishing up here. My witch hazel starting to turn yellow. I was really happy with the performance of my my fringe tree, American fringe tree this year. Did really good. So another plant that I planted this year is this American elm. It's already at least doubled in height. They're supposed to be super fast growing. This is the Princeton elm. If you're interested in growing an elm that's fairly resistant to Dutch elm disease, there's a few different selections you can choose from. There's Princeton elm. I think there's Valley Forge and Washington, if I'm not mistaken. It knows all three show really good resistance to the Dutch elm disease. It's not immune, so it can still come down with Dutch elm disease, but it does show great resistance. And elm trees are super important wildlife plants, and also it's the preferred nesting tree for the Baltimore Oriole. So that's one of the reasons I got it. So this is what's left of my Virginia Clematis, my native Clematis. It's going to seed. It did pretty good this year. Got some new eucharis here. One of my fellow gardeners, who's also my neighbor, gave me these, and I was really happy with them. I got them in here. So next year, I got them paired with this pink azalea, so I think it'll look okay. One thing I was really happy with too, that I really love, and it's survived, was I transplanted these native burning bush back here because I really wasn't filling in up front the way I wanted to. But I want you to look at these seed pods on this. This is Euonymus americana. It's also called strawberry bush or hearts of Burston. And the colors on these things are just unreal. They look almost like they've been photoshopped. They're so bright, and they're just a beautiful shrub. Deer really absolutely love these things. So if you have a deer problem, you would want to make sure you plant them in a spot that's protected. But I just think that these seed pods are just absolutely beautiful. I love them. And so do the birds. So this shade plant, this part of my garden, it's going to be going to sleep. I still got a euchera with some flowers on it here. Some ferns, they're still doing okay. My dwarf goat's beards are doing all right. Asters, I planted some some yellow violets. I got these purple violets, and I got some native ones that are yellow. I'm hoping that they take. We'll see next spring. My partridge berry ground cover is getting its red berries on it. This is another plant that I just really think is a little hidden gem in the garden. I love partridge berry. I love coming out here and seeing these splashes of red. It makes just a great ground cover for shade, and it's such a much better option than Pachysandra, Vinca minor, creeping myrtle, whatever. Those non-native plants that really don't provide any habitat. This is just a wonderful vine. More mountain mint coming back around. Some of my wild geraniums are still blooming. And then that leads me back around here. I'm working on this section. I'm digging out this area here. I'm going to add some steps, some nice sandstone, natural looking steps to bring me up to this. And then my winter berries are starting to get their color, which is really so exciting. I love winterberry. And I actually think one more thing I want to show you before I let you go is, so here's the asters that I cut back. They were a little bit taller last year. A lot of bee activity on these things. And I noticed a lot of honeybees this year. So it was kind of weird. I had a lot of honeybees this year, but hardly found any monarch caterpillars. I mean, I have more milkweed this year than I've had ever since I've lived here. I only found 2 monarch caterpillars. I had a lot of monarchs in my yard, and a lot of them looked like they were laying eggs, but I only found 2 caterpillars. I mean, I wasn't out here every day consistently looking like I have in the past. Last year, I think I found 17 of them. But that's okay. Next year I'll have even more. But I had a lot more honeybees this year than I did last year. So that was exciting. But I have this coralberry that I've highlighted a few times. It gets these white and pink berries on it. Sitting up here, kind of sheltering my little statue lady. I'm thinking about moving this. And the reason being is, I like the way it looks. But I'm thinking, when I first moved in here, I was going to do a rhododendron, and then I decided against it. But I really think what I want to do is just another winterberry. I mean, I'm kind of on a winterberry kick right now, and I think that as it fills in this spot, I really think that those red berries, they really hold up their color really well. That's one thing I've noticed about these coral berries. As much as I love them and I think they're a great plant, they're a wonderful pollinator plant. I'll move it into another section of my yard. Once these berries are done, they kind of turn kind of like a mushy brown color. However, one cool thing about that is I did see last year for the first time a male cardinal out here eating the seeds out of these berries. So that was a plus. But I just think that over the length of the winter, the winter berries, they hold their color in the berries better, and it'll just I think it'll just look a lot better in the long run. So I'm probably going to be moving this. Probably won't do it till spring, but yeah, I want to get this moved out of here. So I got 2 shrubs I'm going to be possibly moving, this and my high bush cranberry. So there you go, just a short update video. Appreciate all my subscribers again. Thank you guys for the positive comments and the positive feedback. You know, I love hearing all your guys' stories. So many positive stories about native plants and all the butterflies and stuff that's coming into everybody's yards. And I really do appreciate it. And I thank you for, subscribing to my channel. Like and share them. That'll get more people involved in planting native plants, because native plants, wherever you're at, whatever your native plants are, wherever part of the country you're in, they are an important part of the ecosystem. It's, plants are what support all life on this planet. We need plants. Plants don't need us. We need them. So anyway, I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you on my next video. Goodbye.